Hey guys! So I'm taking 2 honors English classes my senior year of high school, which means I have a ton of reading and discussing of books to do, which I am so incredibly excited for. It also means that in the last month I have bought 30 books, most of them for school, some of them not. And I'm gonna do a massive book haul to just show you what I got going. We're gonna do this like lightning speed. Alright. The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. This is a story of Vietnam. I heard of this book in like 10th grade and I've been wanting to read it, and now I finally get the chance. I'm quite excited about it. I love the cover art. Next is Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. I read this over the summer. It was absolutely brilliant. I love the theology and you sort of get the end at the beginning and how everything leads up to it. It's a really great book and I recommend it to all you cynical folks out there. I really loved this book. Dedicated to the People of Darfur is a essay compilation of a bunch of writers about fear, risk, and hope, and it's not as preachy as it sounds. Because I read this one over the summer as well. It's better than I thought it'd be. Ooh, glare. That's annoying. As You Like It by William Shakespeare. This is the Folger Shakespeare Library edition. I really like these because they have the text on one side and the explanation on the other side. Just really great for understanding the play. Most schools use these because they're so great, but even if you're just in the play instead of studying it for school, I highly recommend these editions. This is 4 Plays by Bernard Shaw. I did not get this one for school. I got it at a bookstore in Boston called Brattle. Bookstore in Boston called Brattle. That's hard to say. You should try it. If you live in the Boston area, there's a book, and you haven't been to it, there's a bookstore on the south end near the Boston Commons. And it's this tiny little bookstore, lots of used books, plays, really cheap plays, which is why I went there. But Pygmalion is in this little collection, and Pygmalion is one of my favorite plays of all time. It also has Candida, Caesar, and Cleopatra, as well as Heartbreak House and Pygmalion. I'm really excited about this. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. It's the story of Dorian Gray, who has this this painting of himself, and it ages instead of him, and it's all about his descent into cruelty and awfulness. This is the Penguin English Library edition. It has this kind of rubbery cover. Hamlet by William Shakespeare. I think most of you know the story of Hamlet, or at least you know the story of The Lion King, which is based on Hamlet. It was creepy. I'm sorry that happened. It's just a beautiful color, isn't it? I've heard a really cool project goes along with this in 12th grade English at my school, so I'm pretty excited to get to this one. Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. I hate Charles Dickens. I have never liked anything I've read by him. But this is about something about Pip and someone gives him money. I don't really know. But it's long and I don't much want to read it. About 500, I guess it's not that long. It's about 500 pages. It just feels a little heavy. Hey, look. I got a lot of these books in the book depository, but they all come in separate packaging, and each one comes with one of these. I think I could paper my walls with as many of these that I have. I love them, but I just have so many now. Ta-da! Cool. Trimalchio by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This was the original version of Great Gatsby. And Great Gatsby is one of my favorite books, and we read Great Gatsby last year in 11th grade English, AP Lang, and I am just incredibly excited to see an early version of Gatsby and what it turned into. I think it'll be really cool. Just so you know, this book is incredibly expensive wherever you try and buy it. There's only this edition that I could find online at Amazon or the book depository, and it's about 25 bucks, which is annoying because it's only 200 pages. It's a pretty small book, but it's just incredibly expensive. Just so you know. The Crying of Lot 49 by Thomas Pynchon. This is, I don't really know much about it, but it seems it's about a woman who finds herself enmeshed in a worldwide conspiracy, meets some extremely interesting characters, and attains a not inconsiderable amount of self-knowledge. I have no idea what that means. It's something about mail. It's pretty short. About 150 pages. The Adventures of Cavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon. This is an awesome book. I read this over the summer as well because it was a summer reading assignment, and I absolutely loved it. It won the Pulitzer Prize, ta-da! And it's about John Cavalier and Sammy Clay, and is it John? Joe Cavalier and Sammy Clay. It's a long book, but it's about these kids and they grow up in the midst of the comic book, emergence of comic books in the 40s and 50s, and it's really good. Because it's 700 pages long, it is a really, really deep character analysis. Not only is it thick, the pages are very thin, and it's small print. It's a long book. It's a long book. This is a lot of work, but it's really good. Breakfast at Tiffany's by Truman Capote. I love this film. I have never read this book. This book is about 200 pages, and it's so cute. Oh, and I love this movie, and it's the story of Holly Golightly, who believes that nothing bad can ever happen to you while you're at Tiffany's, and it's just awesome. I'm excited to read it. The Road by Cormac McCarthy. I've heard incredibly mixed reviews on this book. I have a friend who says it's the best post-apocalyptic book he's ever read, and my dad hates it with a passion. All that I really know about it is that it's a father and son walking around in post-apocalyptic America, which doesn't sound all that interesting to me. I also know that there's like no quotations and it's really hard to know who's talking, which I feel like is going to bother me, but I'm not totally positive. We will see. We shall see. Oops, they all fell over. Rossum's Universal Robots, or RUR, by Carol Kapek. This is a play in which we hear the first reference to robot. This is where the word comes from. This is also where Joss Whedon got the name for the Rossum Corporation in Dollhouse. My teacher says that it's not the it's not the best written play, but we're doing a really cool project where we're taking this play and comparing it to another robot story. I'm going to write an essay comparing this and Dollhouse, and I'm more excited about the project than I am about the play, but I'm still excited about the play. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I was right. I read this one over the summer as well. Obviously it's a classic. It's so brilliant. I'd never read it before, but obviously I knew the story, and it was awesome to just see where this classic dual personality crazy thing, it's a huge cultural reference, and it was nice to read it and now understand where all that comes from. Time Machine by H.G. Wells. This is the story of a Victorian scientist who travels in time to the future and finds the warring descendants of humanity, and that just sounds awesome. So I greatly look forward to this one. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. This was a novel written in the 1970s about androids, and they look exactly like humans and they hide, and I don't know a ton about this book, but I am excited about it. In 2021, and that was a long time from the 70s, that was like 50 years ahead, but for us it's only like 8, which is kind of a crazy thought. So that is a way I'm going to be looking at this book, and I'm pretty interested to see how that turns out.
I wanna hold the whole wide world right here in my open hands, and maybe I'm just a little girl with great big